Welcome to Million Dollar Mortgage with your host, Elizabeth O'Daly, certified mortgage planner for W.J. Bradley.
If I had $1 million, if I had $1 million.
And now your host of Million Dollar Mortgage, Elizabeth O'Daly, on ESPN Radio 1700.
Welcome to the Million Dollar Mortgage Hour on ESPN 1700, where we'll talk about San Diego real estate market with experts that really know this business. My name is Elizabeth O'Daly, and I'm the Lone Whisperer. I help people strategically, financially plan their real estate investments. Today we have two very special guests. They're accomplished, intelligent, and really know their stuff. So today we have Craig Everett, owner of Advent Real Estate, and Matt Sorensen, top realtor for Reef Point. Welcome you two.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So let's jump in. So I spoke to Craig last week, or actually about 2 weeks ago, and he told me a little bit about his business. And he has been in business for about 15 years. Is that about right?
That's about right.
Okay, good. And you are a Super Service Award winner for Angie's List, which is very hard to get into, what I understand. Mm-hmm. I did a little research, and apparently Angie's List is a pretty difficult. It's a tough racket.
Well, I wouldn't say tough. It's a good fit for us because we're so focused on customer service and core values that represent our business for our clients, and it's just a good fit for us. So we've won that award year over year after, I think, about the last 5 years.
That's impressive, really, because it actually is hard to get. So so you must be doing something right. It's easy for you, but for most people, it's not. So you also come with a series of acronyms. Lots of them. So I actually had to look up some of them because I didn't even know what some of them were. And I consider myself pretty well versed in this business. So you are a CNE, which is a certified negotiations expert, an ABR, an accredited buyer's representative, a GRI, a graduate real estate institute. I actually knew what that one was. I didn't have to look up. Then you are an SFR, a short sale and foreclosure resource, and finally a PMC, property management certification. Did I miss anything?
I think that's about it.
Oh, that's it? Really?
For now, anyway.
So you must have a heck of a signature line going on there. Do you include all these?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay.
I'm proud of those certifications or accreditations because it took me a while to get most of those, so I'm quite proud of them. You should be.
So, can you tell us what a certified negotiations expert is, or?
Well,
I'm curious.
What that is a certification that gives you a framework for negotiations. It doesn't make you someone who's going to walk into a room and win every deal, or But
it increases your chances, I imagine.
Well, I would say it does, and it gives you a framework to really have a win-win situation for all parties, and that's what it's all about. It gives you a framework, a plan to think about what you're going to do before you get there, so that when you're in the midst of a negotiation, you don't make poor decisions or do things that you regret later.
Okay. I wish I had that kind of guidance in college. I'm kidding. All right. So then we have an accredited buyer's representative. So what is that?
That's similar to a CNE, where it gives you a framework to represent buyers and helps you focus on the most important aspects of buyer representation, from finding properties to helping new home buyers obtain correct financing, which can be a challenge sometimes. They don't know what to expect. We can help them get prepared for that, and just help them in the whole home buying process. Make it not so scary. It's not such a scary thing.
It is a scary thing. Honestly, right? Buying a house is probably I was told, and this is how I got sucked into this business, I was told that buying a home is probably the most expensive product you're ever going to buy on a personal level in your lifetime, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's easy to say. And so buying properties in San Diego, when the median average home price is $440,000, we're talking about $500,000, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is not an easy process for anybody. So it's good. So you have, and the other three accreditations that you have are pretty self-explanatory. So we'll get into those in just a little bit. But I know something about you, which I find fascinating. You did not start out in this business, and you did not get all this work done all by itself. you actually did something. You had a whole nother life beforehand, a whole nother life, right? So I want to know about what you did before you got involved in real estate, because to me personally, I'm curious.
Well, I got my start in the Navy, as a matter of fact. I did 5 years in the Navy here in San Diego, and that's what brought me here. And picked up some technology while I was in the Navy, and eventually got out and started working for companies like Intuit and Qualcomm and
Small companies then, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
and SAIC was another one, and did that for quite some time, and that's really what got my start in real estate. Was I bought my first house in San Diego, eventually moved and kept my first house. That became a rental. All of the typical things that you hear about as people grow and in their earnings and through their careers, they move on to different things like a new family and things of that nature. So in any case, that's how I got into real estate. So, all the while I was in IT, I, gathered a nice portfolio of properties and that grew, and to the point where I said, I need to make a decision. Do I continue this hectic IT business, or do I, leave that behind and move into real estate? And that was, once I made that decision, there was no looking back. So I've been in real estate ever since.
So that kind of defines what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is someone who actually initiates risk, and makes that decision, because honestly, IT is kind of a safe world, I mean, you're always going to have a job. It's a guaranteed paycheck if you're doing that type of business, working for these larger companies especially. So taking that risk must have been a little bit scary. Now, were you by yourself? Did you have a family?
It was. Well, I was married. I had my first daughter was here by then, and
so there's no pressure at all to do this.
It was a little scary, I got to tell you, and the money wasn't stable, and it was a little hectic. So, but once I got into it full time and started running with it, it really started to take off. Mm-hmm. So
anyone who's in this business, you really have to have a passion for this. You have to love it.
Absolutely.
Right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Would you say yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to absolutely love it, because it's kind of crazy. It really is. All right. So Advent, which is your company, does something really unique. Your company it's multifaceted. Mm-hmm. It has a piece where, of course, you do real estate sales, right?
Right.
And then we have the construction portion of the business, and you do property management.
Correct.
Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, so how big is your office?
We have 9 agents all over Southern California,
Okay.
and we're all the way up into Orange County and Inland Empire, and as well as San Diego, of course. And we have an office staff that supports the maintenance that we do, the transaction coordination, and just our day-to-day business, our back office financing, and all of that sort of thing, running the operation day-to-day stuff. So,
Got it.
And it works well.
So how do you spend your day? Like, because you have all these pieces. So what's a typical day for you?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, every day is different.
Right, that's what makes
this
fun.
Sometimes we're running a remodel for a client, and I may be on site more often. Some days I'm in the office. Like today, I was working on a presentation for a listing opportunity that I've got. So it's different every day, and that's the nice thing. You
never get bored.
Yeah, you never get bored. It's always something new, and there's always lots of surprises around the corner, which is great. I love that.
It does make it very exciting. I mean, every day is a new day, right? So okay, and then what do you think what sets you apart from other real estate companies? Or construction or property management companies?
Well, I think I see our company as a total solution, a full life cycle solution for real estate. It's a home ownership, one-stop solution. So, anything from, help with basic maintenance or, buying, selling. We represent new home buyers that have never purchased before. We've represented, people in the military who are relocating and helping them manage their property. It's a little bit of everything. So it's just the one-stop shop is the way I like to think of it.
So it's a homeowner solution or opportunity.
Right. Absolutely.
I like homeowner opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose one of the 3 types of business, which one would you choose? If you had to.
That's a tough one. I really do like each of them individually. I love the construction side of things when the hammers are swinging and everybody's on site working. That's great. But I also love helping clients through their home purchase or home sale.
Okay.
It's great. And that's the nice thing about this business. I don't have to get stuck in one thing. I can do any of those and just have a great time doing it. And I love getting up in the morning and going to work. And that's a great thing.
And you're a GC too also? Or no, I wasn't sure.
Yes, a general contractor.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I should have said what it was. So you also don't have that on your list of acronyms.
Yeah,
so
I don't
just
actually.
I
need to. I'll make a note of that.
That would make a solid 6 things.
There
so.
you go.
Okay. So tell me something else about your business. What is it tell me about a client that actually was able to utilize all 3 parts of it. Like who is your ideal perfect person?
Let's see. Well, I've got a client recently. We just wrapped up a remodel for.
Okay.
That's a good example of a full life cycle client where I helped him acquire this rental property through the purchase process. I helped him, get it remodeled, and now we're renting the property out. So, that's just the end-to-end solution for him, and this is the 4th property I've acquired for him, and that same process. So, and he loves it, and I love it because he's a great client to work for, and he also has a lot of money, so which is always nice.
That really that's awful. I'm sorry. That must really be terrible to work with clients with money.
Yeah,
yeah, I hate that.
But that's a very typical full life cycle client, and I love to do that. Even when we have a client that just needs property management or help buying a home, that's okay too. But the full life cycle client is always because it's difficult to navigate that whole process and make it enjoyable for the client, so that they know what's going on at all times, and helping them set budgets and things of that nature. It's an interesting task or process.
So. It is. It's really hard. If you've ever been through construction, if you've ever had construction done in your home, that's a real big pain in the, yeah. So it really, and there's some for some reason there's construction around me all the time. I don't know what it is about my neighborhood, but the moment I moved into my new house, there's construction to my left, to my right, in front of me. When one stops, another one begins. Anyway, sorry, little tangent. But what do you think clients like most about you? What do you think it sounds like communication is what comes across to me.
Well, definitely communication. I'm a good communicator, but I think it's our boutique style brokerage. It's family owned and operated. My wife and I run the company, and
you guys work together.
And yeah, absolutely.
Oh, how's that?
She handles the finances, and I handle the day-to-day business, and it's good. It works perfectly, and she tells me what I can and can't spend, which is always a big help. And it's nice. I think that's what my clients like about our company is when they call, we know exactly who they are, and they always get me.
And you have good relationships still too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the end, we have dinner together every night, and it's good. We make it work, and I'm not saying that we don't have our road bumps, but that's okay.
Okay. So tell us something a little personal about you.
I do love to surf.
Okay, you do.
Yeah,
okay.
I do love to surf. We talked about that before the show, I think.
Okay, so you do have the boards in the office.
I do, and I don't get out as much as I'd like, but that's my passion, because for instance, this last weekend I was down in Mexico for a quick trip down. Surf was great, and went down and had a great time, and back in the office first thing Monday morning. So
that doesn't sound too bad.
No, I can't complain.
Yeah, and by the way, his office is 2 blocks from the beach, so if you want to go visit Craig, it's going to be a pleasant experience. Go have some lunch down there and spend a nice afternoon. So when we come back, we're going to talk more with Craig Everett, and we're also going to talk to Matt Sorensen and learn more about what they do for their business. Feel free to call or text me at 619-602-6071. I'm the Lone Whisperer on ESPN 1700. Welcome back to the $1 Million Mortgage Hour here on ESPN 1700. I'm your host, Elizabeth O'Daly, and I'm a Lone Whisperer. We're back here with Craig Everett, owner of Advent Real Estate, and Matt Sorensen, top realtor for Reef Point. Thank you guys again for joining us. And when we came as we're coming back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Craig about his business, what the future holds, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So clearly you are a true entrepreneur. Okay, you left I'm sorry, but I got to say it's the safety of IT world. IT world is really safe. It's pretty much a guarantee you can always work. And yet you chose this business that's got its highs and lows and ebbs and flows with the market. So you must have plans for the future, I imagine, or working on projects to enhance what you have now.
Yeah, well, what I'm working on right now is a new website design for our companies across the board. That's going to be a single design across multiple websites. That's very similar for user experience, but it's also going to help clients connect with our brokerage, both on the real estate sales side and the property management. And that's really our long-term. It's a long-term project, and I think we just did the most recent release yesterday of our sales website, adventsales.com, and now we're going to work on just content development and just really developing that connection with our clients.
Got it. So now you said multiple pages, so I was just curious. When you say multiple pages, is it going to be one web page, like one landing page, and it will go to all the different websites depending on which business it's being directed to? Sure.
No, it's actually going to work out. There are going to be multiple websites. So one for the property management, one for the sales business. So they're unique and they're very similar, but you can tell them apart. But the flow, the way users navigate through them is very similar.
Right. Technology is really dominating our business now, isn't it? It's
yes,
really
absolutely.
It's changing how clients do business. I spoke with someone on Monday night, and they were talking about Redfin as a source of information. Now, the three of us know, honestly, right? Redfin is not up to date. Sometimes they don't list the information correctly.
That's right.
And so the client felt that their property, which was only 662 square feet in North Park, very nice home, beautiful, beautiful, was actually 775 because they had some unpermitted space. And so Redfin was feeding them with all this information. So technology can be very persuasive and difficult. So your websites and all your technology has to really be on target these days, I think.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're actually not integrating a lot of our MLS data into that. We're actually using those sites to connect with our clients and really making that connection is the hardest part for us to get new clients. And I think that's what the new sites are going to be able to bring us.
To give it, because I think your company has a sense of warmth to it. It's
Yeah,
like very
absolutely.
friendly, family-oriented feel
Absolutely.
to it. So it's a different kind of business where you have other businesses that are pretty much hardcore. Here's the process, and you just go with it. So
Right.
it's definitely it has a nice feeling. So
Absolutely.
I liked your website.
Thank you.
Well, Craig, thank you so much for talking with us about your business, and I'd like to kind of turn.